Okay, so in Writer's Workshop, I know that you've been finishing up your how-tos and you've been getting ready to get your how-to books ready to share with the world. And you're going to have a big publishing party and celebration. And what you learned in how-tos is that you write these books to teach other people how to do things that you are already an expert at. And so one of the things you want to make sure of before you finish your book is that you're teaching as much as you can to the reader so that they really know how to do what it is you're trying to teach. Tip is just some advice that you can give to the reader so that they have a better understanding and they can do each step a little bit easily or easier. Okay? More easily. So watch me as I think about what could I add that's going to teach my reader or give them advice to help them do each step easier. What kind of tip can I give them? So my book is How to Feed a Dog. And so I'm an expert at how to feed dogs because I have 2 dogs at home. And so I thought about exactly what do I do, and I wrote my book, and I'm going to read it to you. It says, first, clean out the dog bowl. Next, fill one side with cold water. Then fill the other side with dog food. Last, gently place the bowl on the floor and call the dog to eat. And so I'm thinking to myself, what can I add to my book? What kind of tips can I add that's going to teach the reader or give them advice to be more careful? So first, clean out the dog bowl. What can I tell the reader that's important for them to know about cleaning out the dog bowl? What's going to make it easier for them to be able to clean? And you know it's always helpful because you know what happens? Inside the dog bowl, the old food that's left gets kind of dry and stuck onto the bowl.
Yeah.
So, oh, you know what I always do is I use soap and a sponge. So now I'm going to write the word tip, T-I-P. I'm going to use these 2 dots. Now I'm going to say, use warm water, soap, and a sponge. Use warm water, soap, and a sponge. That's going to help them get off all that old dried up food. So you see how I did that? I thought, what's going to help the reader do this step better? And I added tip, right? And I wrote the word tip in those 2 dots. Let's see if I can think of any other tips. Next, fill one side with cold water. What could I say as a tip that's going to help the reader out there?
And cold for food.
I'm going to say, don't overfill the bowl. Because you know what? Sometimes I put too much water in the bowl, and you know what happens when I go to put the bowl on the floor? All over the floor, and I have a mess. So I'm going to say, don't overfill the bowl.
I don't do that to my dog. I don't do that to my dog.
Tip, T-I-P, don't overfill the bowl, or else it'll spill. Do you think you can help me think of a tip for my next part?
Yes.
Okay. On this next part, I'm teaching the reader, step 3, Then fill the other side with dog food. What's a tip that I can give the reader?
Don't put too much dog food.
What's a tip that I can give the reader? Why don't you all kind of think of one? And now tell your partner. Tell your partner. Don't call out and tell me. Tell your partner. So many of you said, tip, don't put too much food.
Yes.
And now you had a couple of different reasons. One was so that it doesn't spill over.
Yes.
But you know what? I have a dog named Sparky, and Sparky's got a little problem. He eats too much.
That's what I said.
Yeah, that's what you said. And so how should my tip go? How should I say
Don't
it?
put too much dog food or your dog might get fat.
Okay. Don't put too much dog food.
Or get the right dog food. Or your dog will get fat.
Or your dog will get fat.
I have one dog.
There's another tip too. We could also give the reader a tip that might say, don't give the dog human food, right? Don't give the dog the cat food. There's lots of different tips you can give.
Guess
to
what?
the reader.
I gave the cat dog food.
So today, when you go back to work on your books, and you're gonna get your books ready to publish and share with the world, remember that what writers do is revise. Can you say the word revise?
Revise.
And that means we add more to our book to make it clear and to make it better for the reader to understand. So one way you can do that is by adding tips on each of your steps or in some of your steps that's going to help the reader do that step much easier. You think you're going to try that today in your books?
Yeah.
Okay.